If you've been looking or waiting for a Wi-Fi cloud network camera that's HD and does home automation, well, the Compro TN900RW might just be it. It comes in this very cool box that's very informative with lots of pictures as well as features and specifications about the product on it. Now, Compro also sent me their PS100 Power IR switch, and this is basically an IR switch that you can control via the app, or you can use a remote control. I'll be highlighting that a little later on. It's packaged very well. Inside is the camera. They have a warning here about mishandling the motor. So in other words, don't pick this up and start just twisting the motor. You could easily damage it. And a box, and in it are all of these items: an installation CD, a quick start guide, and some air conditioners you can turn on and off, which you can do with this device if you want to. They have information about that, plus an installation guide for the included wireless and adapter. As well, they include a category 5E cable, a power adapter, and a metal mounting plate, plus the hardware for that. That's good, of course, if you're mounting it on a wall or a ceiling. Now, in the PS100 switch box, they include a user's manual and the main unit. Let's first get the features and specifications out of the way, and then we'll have a closer look at it, and finally I'll have a peek at the software and it in action. Let's start with the camera. It comes with a 0.33 or 1/3 progressive scan CMOS sensor. It has a 10 times digital zoom. The pan and tilt ranges are really incredible. It's 170 degrees left and right for the pan, and the tilt is 10 degrees down and 90 degrees up. As for the pan and tilt speeds, well, pan is around 40 degrees per second and the tilt is 54 degrees per second. The focusing range is 0.5 meters all the way up to infinity. And as for the illumination, well, within the IR mode, it's 0 lux with the built-in IR LEDs. And by the way, there are 11 LEDs in total, and the effective distance is 10 meters. As well, the shutter time is 1/5 all the way up to 1/16,000 of a second. As for video, the image settings is MJPEG and H.264, that's MPEG 4 part 10. Resolution, well, there's a few different options: 160 by 120, 320 by 240, or 640 by 480, and the one you really want to stick with, the 720p, which is 1280 by 720. As for frame rate, up to 30 frames per second, and that is at 720p. And the image settings, well, you can adjust the image size and quality. You've got options like AGC, AWB, and AES, and of course you can adjust the brightness, contrast, saturation, and sharpness. Now, this is really cool. It comes with a microphone and speaker, so it's capable of two-way audio. The audio compression is G711 PCM 64 kilobits per second, and as well, it has a microphone input and audio output at the back. Now, as for connectivity, the simplest thing to do is to use the included wireless and adapter, and it connects to the unit at the back like so. Click on the WPS button on your router and on the unit, and bam, it is as easy as that. Now, when it comes to a hardwire connection, well, that's possible, but keep in mind that it's not a gigabit connection, rather a 10/100 base T, and well, that's fine for the use of this unit. As for security, you can set a username and password, and it does have encryption, WEP, WPA, and WPA2. As for protocols, well, there are many, so I'll list them on the screen. As well, the firmware can be easily updated. You can access it via a web browser or the C4 Home app. It comes with a built-in temperature sensor as well as a micro SD SDHC card slot. Now, if you look at the unit, I think the styling is quite nice. The build quality is excellent. Keep in mind, though, that this is an indoor camera and not an outdoor camera. It's fairly compact, measuring in at 105 by 128.6 by 125.5 millimeters. So let's have a closer look. At the top is their logo. This is the lens, status LED, speakers, ventilation. At the very back is that LAN port. Remember, it's not a gigabit connection, rather a 10/100 base T. You've got audio out and in, a micro SD slot, WPS reset button, and here is where the power adapter gets connected. On the very bottom is a QR code. You use this to set up the unit, and you've got some grooves here for fitting that mounting bracket in, plus ventilation. Now this is super easy to set up. First of all, attach the power adapter, and when it comes to connectivity, you've got a couple of different options. You can go ahead and hardwire it into your router and or switch, or you can use the included wireless and adapter. I'm going to use the wireless and adapter, and for me, I just use the WPS on the router on this. Boom, it's set up, ready to go. Once you've done that, go ahead either on your iPhone or Android and download the C4 Home app, create an account, then go ahead and it will ask you to add a new camera. Say yes. You'll need to either scan the QR code that is on the camera itself or in the booklet, and there you have it. There's the camera. Now this app is very powerful. It lists on the home screen the cameras that you have as well as the different events. You can add a camera, you can edit the cameras, like for example you can remove it if you want to. Just refresh. This will show you the camera or cameras that you have installed, and these are the app phone settings. You can enable vibration, push notifications, you can refresh media storage, you can change the buffer size. I would recommend changing it to medium. Language you can change, and information here about it. So I'll save that, and now we'll go into these settings, and there's lots of them. Within camera, you can change the name, assign a password, you can flip it completely. That's good if you have the camera upside down. You can enable or disable the sensor and change it between Celsius and Fahrenheit. Streaming settings. Within the video settings, you've got codec you can change, resolution you can change, frame rate you can change, quality you can't change. Within the audio settings, you can enable or disable that. Codec for that is listed there. Within notification settings, you've got motion detection, audio detection. That's pretty cool. If you want to enable cloud storage, you can via Dropbox. And this is neat, temperature notification. So you can, it will notify you within those different temperatures. Sharing settings, you can share this camera with a friend, or you can just set it to private mode. So to access the camera, just click on it. I'm going to show you actually how far this will go. Pretty much all the way back. There you go. I'll set it back to home. Tilt. Almost all the way up and back to home. And the microphone works. It's pretty neat. You've got two-way communication on this. You just send a message here. If you want to take a picture, no problem. Done. And there's other options here as well for setting this up when it comes to home automation. Now, speaking of home automation, this PS100 power IR switch is really key for setting it up both within the app, and you can use a regular remote control. It doesn't matter which remote control, any remote control that you have will work. So just connect this into an outlet, then position the IR sensor where you want, nice long cable included for that, and then the device. Could be an air conditioner, an animal feeder, a TV, a light, or whatever. I have a light connected in here so you can see that it does in fact work. To configure a remote to this unit, just hold down the button, you'll see it flashing, then assign a button. I'm going to select 0, it confirms it, and then you can turn the device on or off as you choose. Now, of course, you don't have to use a remote control and point it at this. You could use the camera itself by going through the app itself and creating different profiles. And what's cool about this is, for example, if you have a television, you can set this up to increase and decrease the volume and change the channels and whatever. This cloud network camera really goes above and beyond. It cannot be compared to a lot of the other ones that are on the market because it does do 720p and also home automation. Plus, it can pan and tilt like nobody's business. The software is very, very incredibly easy to use, and this is so simple to set up. Without a doubt, this is a 100% kick-ass product. Until next time, take care.